I am Molinna, and I will be your guide on how to become President of the United States, also known as POTUS. There are some formal and informal requirements before becoming president. Some formal requirements would be being at least 35 years old, having 14 years of U.S. citizenship.
I meant living on U.S. soil for at least 14 years, not 14 years of citizenship. Sorry.
And also being a natural-born citizen. Some informal requirements would be white, male, Protestant, and having some previous experience as a rich businessman, a lawyer, or possibly a congressman. So basically all standards of men that I do not want. I will run you through all the do's and don'ts of running for presidency. Your first step is announcing that you're going to be president. Hello, I am Senator Bernie Sanders, short for Bernard. After a year of travel, discussion, and dialogue, I have decided to be a candidate for the Democratic nomination for president. People should not underestimate me just because I'm an independent running as a Democrat. I run outside of the two-party system, defeating Democrats and Republicans, taking on big money candidates, and you know, I think the message that has resonated in Vermont will be a message that resonates all over the country. It'll be huge. Thank you. Howdy folks, Ted Cruz speaking. I'm a senator from good old Texas. I'm officially announcing my run for prez. Why vote for me? Well, you're here. I have a hand in initiating the 2014 government shutdown, as well as enjoy story time with Dr. Seuss's green eggs and ham during my own dandy filibuster during my own bill. Whoop-doo! Vote for me. You better bet your darn tootin' you'll vote for me. Thanks. Vote for me. Yeehaw! I am Sam. I am Sam. Sam I am. That's Sam I am. That's Sam I am. I do not like that Sam I am. Do you like green eggs and... Oh, hello. Welcome back. I was just reading Dr. Seuss's green eggs and ham. Ain't Ted Cruz a great guy? Ha ha ha. Anyways, moving on to step 2, the primary and war room strategy. If you're going to run for President of the United States, you should probably focus on the Iowa caucus and the New Hampshire primaries first. The reason being that they are the first 2 states to vote in the nation's primaries and caucuses. If you win those 2 states, you will build the momentum to winning all of the states on Super Tuesday, held on March 1st. Super Tuesday is when a bunch of states vote the same exact day, and if you are able to win a majority of the Super Tuesday states and win the Iowa caucus and or the New Hampshire primary, you are on the right path to winning the nomination for your party. The Republican and the Democratic parties have these people called delegates. Delegates go to whoever wins a majority of the vote of the state. In the Republican Party, whoever wins a majority of the vote, they win all of the delegates because they have a winner-take-all system. For the Democratic Party, they have superdelegates and delegates. Delegates do the same thing as the Republican Party, but they are proportioned equally between whoever gets a majority of the vote, who gets lesser of the vote, and then they just get a portion off. But with superdelegates, they get to go wherever the heck they want. They don't care about the vote. Usually they've cast in their vote for the nomination depending on who won a majority of the vote in the states, but they can always just switch and turn around. How democratic. How ironic. The Democratic Party having such an undemocratic system. How great. Anyway, let's move on to step 3. Step 3, the presidential debate. As the nomination for your party, you're gonna have to compete against the other nomination, against the other party, so voters can know who to vote for in the election in November. The obvious decision is when the greed and recklessness and illegal behavior of Wall Street brought this country into the worst economic downturn since the Great Recession. Secretary Clinton over here was busy giving speeches to Goldman Sachs for $225,000 a speech.
Perhaps it may be inconvenient, but it is always important to get the facts straight. I stood up against the behaviors of the bank when I was a senator. I called them out on their mortgage behavior. I was also very willing to speak out against some of the special privileges that they had under the tax code.
These banks, in my view, have too much power. They have shown themselves to be fraudulent organizations endangering the well-being of our economy. If elected president, I will break them up. We have got legislation to do that. End of discussion.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals.
You fundamentally misunderstand the Bill of Rights.
About you, quote,
Look at that face. Would anyone vote for that? Can you imagine that, the face of our next president? Mr.
This is a country where we speak English, not Spanish. When are you talking, Jeb?
I'm
You
talking
can go
right
back.
now. I'm talking.
You can go back. You're not
I'm
talking.
talking.
You interrupted me,
September
Jeb. Are
30th,
you going
you
to
said it.
apologize, Jeb?
Hands, if they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem.
What a boring debate. Well, we're gonna take a commercial break. See you soon.
Honest, visionary, passionate, revolutionary,
Adorable.
inspiring, wise, integrity, not Trump, empowering, Bernie, the right choice for President of the United States.
That was step 4, the campaign ad. If you're running for president, you should probably make a campaign ad, or most likely multiple campaign ads, so you can gain a lot of support. On to step 5, this is the moment of truth, electoral college and their votes. These votes will determine who will be president of the United States. You'll need at least 270 to win. If you have more, great, you won! Half the votes are in, and it seems that the Democratic Party is in the lead. Let's go, Bernie! Oh, seems that Bernie has won California, not a surprise considering it's very Democratic, Washington State, Illinois, and pretty much most of the East Coast. Let's go, Bernie! Feel the burn!
6.5 hours later.
Almost all the votes are in, and it seems as Democratic Party is still in the lead with 272 votes against Republican Party 191. Of course, because Bernie's the Democratic nomination. Oh, we're gonna have a great president. A first Jewish president. A cute old grandpa. Oh!
1 eternity later.
All the votes are in! The Democratic Party has won! Let's go, Bernie! Yeah! He's won! He's won! He's now the president! And now that moves on to step 6. The acceptance speech. Hello, I am Ben Carson. Thank you for overlooking all of my terrible flaws and electing me your president. I am an example of change. I used to be very hostile, even stabbing someone at the age of 14. But, you know, I changed. One day, as a 14-year-old in 9th grade, I was hanging out at the house of my friend Bob, listening to his radio, when he suddenly leaned over and dialed the tuner to another station. I'd been enjoying the song playing on the first station, so I reached over and flipped it back. Bob switched stations again. Then something, just like it snapped inside of me. A wave of rage welled up, and almost without thinking, I pulled out the pocket knife I always carried. In what seemed like one continuous, involuntary motion, I flicked open the blade and lunged viciously right at my friend's stomach. Incredibly, God saved me, and the point of the knife struck Bob's large metal
Alright, I think
knuckle,
cut,
and the
we're
blade.
getting off.
I'm not done! Country into the worst downturns of the great.
Why can't you say?
Behavior of Wall Street. Street brought this street. You win those 2 states. Your recklessness and illegal behavior of Wall Street brought this country. Don'ts that I will run you through. Reason being, they are the first 2 states to vote for the nation's. To Goldman Sachs for $225,000 in a speech.
Senator Bernie, perhaps it may be inconvenient, but it's always important.
What the who to vote for in the election in the when he suddenly leaned over and it's the Great Recession. Secretary Clinton was busy giving speeches to Goldman Sachs for We're going to tell the truth. The obvious decision is when the
Molinna, are you looking at
The obvious decision is when the greed and the recklessness and illegal behavior of Wall Street brought this